To this day, the mayor and council have never explained to the public or media how it was legal for the mayor to cash in 100% of his vacation days for almost a decade, in order to get an extra $17,000 a year, even though there were documented instances where he took time off during these years. This episode will reveal to the public for the first time the absurd excuse the mayor and finance director Path gave to the Ohio Auditor's Office to explain how this practice was legal. Besides giving viewers a laugh or two, we hope it leaves you troubled and asking why the Ohio Auditor, Attorney General and County Prosecutor haven't taken any action.
Welcome to my palatial office. I understand you are in the media and looking to do a story on how we do such a great job in plowing the snow from the streets in Beechwood.
As a longtime council member and the assistant law director, I want to let you know that the city will roll out the red carpet for anyone who wants to do a story about snow removal.
Even though it is summer, I think this will be a very compelling story for your readers.
I have a confession to make. I am not a reporter. I am Detective Friday with the Public Corruption Unit.
Why would you lie to us like that? I canceled a wedding I was supposed to officiate where I was going to make an extra $250 because we haven't gotten a lot of good press lately.
I had to tell you that because ever since the media exposed your vacation day cashing in practice, no one from the city has ever made a statement to the media or public explaining how this practice was legal. The only time you said anything about this publicly was when you were asked about it during your video interview with the Cleveland Jewish News, and all you said was that you and your wife don't like to travel.
There you go. The mayor and his wife don't like to travel. That excuse was good enough to satisfy me and his other buddies on council. So as far as I'm concerned, this is a non-issue. Can we now move on and talk about snow removal?
I'm afraid not, Mr. Wachter. Besides being a longtime council member, you are also the assistant law director. Is that correct?
Yes.
Then you are qualified to answer my next couple questions. Do other full-time city employees have to use their allotted vacation days if they take time off during official city hall hours, in order to do something that isn't official city business?
Generally speaking, yes. But can you be more specific?
Okay. What if during city hall hours they took time off to visit family in California? Would they have to use their vacation days?
Yes.
What if they visited a sick friend or attended an on-family member's funeral during city hall hours? Would they have to use their vacation hours to do so?
Yes.
What if they extended an out-of-town business trip in order to enjoy some personal time with their spouse or friend in the middle of the work week?
Yes, they would have to use their vacation days.
What if a city employee attended high holy Jewish holiday services during city hall hours? Would they have to use their vacation time?
Yes.
What if it was a nice summer day during the week when city hall was open and a full-time employee wanted to take the afternoon off to ride their motorcycle? Or just tend to personal stuff like going to Lowe's to purchase outdoor furniture and drop it off at their campaign manager's condo? Would they have to use their vacation days?
Yes.
I think we get the point. How many more questions like this does Wachter have to answer?
Just one more, Mr. Mayor. If a city employee had a friend or neighbor who was announcing their candidacy for county executive in a press conference during city hall hours, could they attend this press conference in downtown Cleveland without using their vacation hours?
They could attend it, but since it is a partisan political event and is not official city business, they would have to use their vacation hours.
Let me continue. I see that from 2005 through May of 2013, the mayor cashed in 100% of his vacation days as unused in order to receive an extra $17,000 each year. However, from what I understand, during those years, there are many documented instances where the mayor took time off to do all of the examples I just mentioned, but never used a single hour of his vacation time during that period. Can you explain how it was legal for the mayor to take time off but not have to use his allotted vacation hours?
Don't answer that, Wachter. Listen to me, little lady. Path and I kept this a well-guarded secret until the damn media exposed it.
In fact, only the mayor, myself and my top assistant Mr. Eric Brady even knew about this. This was a better-kept secret than the mayor's salary. At least with that, the law director and some of the council members who had been around a while knew how much the mayor made.
Once the damn media embarrassingly exposed this, myself and my loyal buddies on council have gone out of our way not to explain how this was legal to the public. You are crazy if you think I am going to go to explain it to you.
Let me help you out. I submitted a public records request and saw the excuse the city gave to the Ohio Auditor's Office. In emails to the auditor, Finance Director Path admitted that the mayor had taken time off during official city hall hours during the years he cashed in 100% of his vacation days. However, he claimed this was legal and that the mayor never had to use any of his allotted vacation hours as long as he worked more than 2,080 hours annually in all these years. Mr. Path, am I correct that this was the rationale you provided the auditor's office to explain the legality of this practice?
Yes, but that was something I wrote to the auditor's office because we had to tell them something and that was all we could come up with. We never intended for the media or public to know that was our excuse.
Since this is an issue of legality, why is the finance director explaining how this was legal instead of the law director? Did she sign off on this practice?
She couldn't have signed off on it because she didn't know about it until the media exposed it. And she refused to stand by the statement and rationale I provided during the auditor's investigation.
Don't worry. That will never happen again. She retired and we replaced her with a new law director who will say whatever we tell him to say.
I don't think she retired, as she is still the law director for 2 other suburbs and is an active partner in her law firm.
Let's just say that she stepped down from her position in Beechwood. So we could be assured we had a law director who understood their job was to look out for the best interests of the mayor instead of the residents.
We pay people more than any other city, and these employees need to realize that if they do not do and say what we want, we will replace them.
That is troubling, but let's move on. If I am understanding this correct, the only explanation provided to the auditor to explain how this was legal was Mr. Path's claim that he was certain the mayor worked more than 2,080 hours in all these years, and as long as his work hours met this 2,080-hour threshold, he could take time off without burning any of his allotted vacation hours. Is that correct, Mr. Path?
Yes.
How can you be certain the mayor worked more than 2,080 hours a year? Does the mayor punch a time clock, or do either of you document the hours he works and when he takes time off?
No, and I am sure you have seen that on many instances the mayor has admitted that he nor anyone else has ever counted, tracked or documented the hours he works.
If you don't track the mayor's hours, why would you tell the auditor's office you are certain that he worked more than 2,080 hours in all the years in question?
Don't answer that, Path. Next question.
I have been instructed not to answer that.
Okay. You have admitted no one records when the mayor works and when he takes time off. If the mayor takes time off in January, how can you be certain he will work 2,080 hours that year?
I don't know, but my statement speaks for itself. I am just certain of it.
In this statement, you also admit that you do not know the whereabouts of the mayor on an hourly, or even daily basis. Is that correct?
Yes, but you have to understand that the mayor's office area is secluded from the rest of City Hall. The mayor parks in the garage and takes the private elevator up to the mayor's office area. The only people who know if he is there are his 2 assistants.
So what you are admitting is that the physical location of your office does not allow you to see when the mayor arrives, leaves, or even if he is in City Hall.
Correct.
Then I have to ask this question again. Why did you tell the auditor's office that you were certain the mayor worked more than 2,080 hours in all these years, when you admit you have never counted or tracked his work hours, admitted you don't know his whereabouts on an hourly or even daily basis, and admitted that the location of your office doesn't allow you to know when the mayor comes and goes or even if he is at City Hall?
To be honest, someone had to provide some excuse and no one else would. It really wasn't a choice because my hide was on the line too, not just the mayor's.
I don't understand. Please explain.
In essence, I could get in a lot of trouble because I was the key accomplice to this questionable practice. No one else knew besides me and my top assistant.
Please walk me through how this worked.
Before the last payroll period of every year, the mayor would fill out a form that said he never used a single hour of his vacation time. He is the boss, so I am not going to question him. Then I would instruct my top assistant, Mr. Brady, to enter the money into the mayor's final paycheck of the year. No one else knew that he cashed in 100% of his vacation days. Without me, this practice could have never happened. I had to give the auditor's office some explanation. So I gave them the BS line about being certain the mayor worked more than 2,080 hours every year in question. even though no one has any idea how many hours the mayor works. They didn't even ask for the mayor's past schedules, which one of his assistants keeps electronically. If they looked at that, they would have seen that since 2011, the mayor's schedule averages less than 18 hours a week in commitments. And many of the commitments included on this schedule are personal or political commitments and not official city business.
Let me get this straight. The only explanation ever provided to the Ohio Auditor's Office to explain the legality of this practice was a claim from the enabler and main accomplice of this questionable practice that he was certain the mayor worked more than 2,080 hours annually, despite that person admitting he nor anyone else tracks the mayor's hours or could possibly know how many hours he worked over the course of a year.
That is correct.
I don't know how your statements could have any credibility with the Auditor's Office investigators. This would be like relying on the guy charged with driving the getaway car in a bank robbery to provide an alibi for his friend charged with robbing the bank.
I agree. I was surprised as anyone when they didn't question this.
It is a good thing we have a great relationship with the investigator who looked into this at the auditor's office. The bottom line is they looked into this and didn't cite us for doing anything wrong. Clearly they agree that it's legal for me to take time off and vacations without using any of my vacation days, as long as I get my well-paid buddy PAF to say I work 2,080 hours a year, even though no one has ever tracked how much I work or when I take time off. Since they don't have a problem with this practice, it is legal and I am vindicated.
I have some questions for you, Mr. Mayor. It seems you had no problem employing this practice when no one knew about it, and from 2005 until May of 2013, you never used a single hour of your vacation time to get an extra $17,000 each year. However, when the media exposed this practice, you were not available for a comment at a Monday night council meeting because you had been away at a family wedding in Arizona since the previous Thursday. When you learned the media was looking into this story, you emailed Mr. Path over that weekend and alerted him that you were using your first vacation day in almost a decade.
So what is your point?
First of all, the city employee handbook requires that all vacation day notice forms must be filled out in advance, which you did not do. Why didn't you follow this rule?
I am the mayor and I decide which rules I will follow. It is also pretty obvious that if the media wasn't going to expose this practice, I wouldn't even have thought about using a vacation day. This damn media is costing me a fortune.
I agree that this is obvious. However, if you really believed it was legal for you to take time off without using vacation days because you work more than 2,080 hours a year, why did you abandon this practice as soon as it was made public by the media? Don't you think it is fishy that from 2005 to May of 2013 you never used a single hour of your vacation time, but from the end of the month of May when the media exposed this, to the end of 2013, you used 80 hours? If what you were doing was legal like you claim, why not continue it?
I don't have an answer for that. However, I will tell you that my longtime buddies on city council don't have a problem with this and approved my actions.
That is right. Even though we didn't know this was going on, retroactively all of us on council approved this and don't have a problem with it. Since last year, the media has exposed many embarrassing things about the way the mayor operates at City Hall that we tried to keep from the public. However, each time he has gotten out of it by saying council didn't have a problem with it. Hopefully that will work for this as well.
No matter what you find out, the answer will always be council approved of it even if they didn't know about it. I don't know why everyone is getting so hot and bothered about this. This vacation day scam of mine has only cost the city of Beechwood $17,000 a year for almost a decade, and increased my state-funded retirement payouts, which I quietly started collecting in 2010, by $13,000 a year. When it is all said and done, this will only cost the sucker taxpayers an extra $300,000. It isn't real money. It is sucker taxpayer money.
Join us for our next episode where we bring Mr. Puff down to the station and interrogate him alone. It turns out this isn't the first time Mr. Puff was an accomplice to assist or cover up an indiscretion of the mayor they didn't want the public to know about.